Today, we're going to talk about something that we all want to get into. We've all seen it. You watch television. You watch the World Series of Poker and know you want to be there to compete for millions of dollars, get that ring or that bracelet, and just be at the top of the game of poker. But you don't know how to make that first stop. And then what is the difference between a cash game versus a tournament? Where is it different? Today at Chatting with Poker, we're going to talk about it. I got the little mic here today. We're going to test it out and see what happens. Let me know what you think. So anyway, think about it. You're out here and you're ready to play. You got the same cards, same hand in a tournament that you do in a cash game. And you know what? Your goal is pretty much the same. And what's the goal? To stack your opponent. But if you play Teaxs Holdem the exact same way you play a cash game, you're going to burn through your bankroll pretty doggone fast. And that's something you don't want. I mean, to the untrained eye, to the amateurs like myself, No Limit looks like the same game no matter where you sit no matter where you sit. But under the hood, they are two completely different sports, as it were. One is a marathon of deep stack patience where every chip equals a hard dollar. The other is a survival pressure cooker where the blinds are constantly pushing you toward a cliff. So today I'm going to cover and break down 5 fundamental differences between a cash game and a tournament. We're going to talk about chip value, strategic mindset, variances, lifestyle flexibility, and bankroll management. So you can figure out which format actually fits your goals, your lifestyle, your personality. You know what? Let's get going. Let's freaking dive in. Let's dive in and take a look at it. So when I talk about it, the absolute biggest difference comes down to what those chips in front of you actually represent. In a cash game, your chips are real money. Sometimes we forget that. If you have a $5 chip on the table, that's a physical $5 bill. If you win $500 on a pot, you can literally get up and walk to the cage and go buy yourself lunch with that money. It's very important that you understand that. The blinds in the cash game, they never change. If you're playing 1-3 or 1-2 or 5-10, whatever you're playing, it's the same. Right now, when you're sitting down, when you first sit down, or 6 hours later as you're playing, it never changes. You're never forced to play a hand because of a pressure cooker clock. You're not sitting there trying to play a hand up to level up, as it were. Boy, cash games are, if you're learning the game, the best way to learn it. Now, look at a tournament. In a tournament, your chips are like, I don't know, probably like points. It's a contest. You might have a buy-in of $100, $200, $300, and they give you $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in chips. But you can't cash those $10,000 in chips out halfway through the tournament. They have zero value for you until you reach the end where you get to the payout spots. And unlike a cash game, the blinds in a tournament rise on a strict timer, 15, 30, 60 minutes. As the blinds climb, your stack gets smaller relative to the cost of playing. The clock is constantly putting pressure on your survival. You hear that? That's your clock ticking. And you don't have a lot of time. You might start out with a $15 blind, but next thing you know, the blinds are $150, $1,500, $15,000 a hand. Because of that blind structure, how you actually play your hands changes completely compared to a cash game. In a cash game, usually playing deep stack poker, typically between 1 to 250 big blinds deep, that deep stack means that post-flop play is king. You have the freedom to maneuver on the flop, the turn, and the river. You can set mine, execute multi-street bluffs if you want. You can wait patiently for premium spots because the blinds aren't eating you alive. So you could sit there if you like to play aces and wait for the aces. You're not looking around waiting for anything else. But in a tournament, deep stack play usually only happens in the very first few levels. As the blinds escalate, average stack sizes shrink. You go from this is amazing. The strategy in a tournament, deep flop play is the short stack math. Stealing blinds from the late post, defending your big blinds. Oh man, it's a lot to think about, but it's really not a big deal. In a cash game, every chip you win is worth the same as every chip you lose. In a tournament, chips are only worth more than the chips won, because losing your last chip means you're eliminated. Near the payout, or the bubble as it were, in the big finale, tournament players often have to fold hands they would easily call in a cash game because they don't want to be bubble boy or bubble woman or bubble girl. They want to be able to guarantee some money back as they play. They want to be able to manage that. At that point, they're kind of like managing that bankroll in front of them. And that's the key thing. You're going to play totally different. Totally different. In the tournament, the win rate is a lot less than it is compared to a cash game. I mentioned bankrolls, so let's talk about bankrolls. And full disclosure, this is where a lot of players freaking get burned. Cash games are relatively low variance. Yes, you'll have losing sessions, but a solid winning cash game player might win 55 to 65% of the sessions that they play. Their income line looks like a steady, more like a stair step upward. Because variance is low, you generally only need 20 to 30 buy-ins for your stake to manage your risks successfully. On the other hand, that tournament juice, baby, is something else. Tournaments, on the other hand, are a wild roller coaster of extreme variance. In a typical multi-table tournament, only the top, say, 10 to 15% of the field gets paid at all. That means even elite world-class pros miss the money 80 to 85% of the time. You can play great tournament poker and go on 20 or 30 tournament dry streaks without seeking a single dime in return. Your bankroll flatlines until bam, you hit a top 3 finish or win a tournament, and your bankroll explodes upward. Because of the brutal swings, serious tournament grinders often need 1 to 200 plus buy-ins in their bankroll just to withstand the downswings. Got the upswings and the downswings. Tournaments are an emotional freaking roller coaster for sure. And that's the one thing you have to be very, very aware of as you're playing. Very aware of it. Cash games, not so much. Beyond strategy and math, there's a huge lifestyle element that people rarely consider when choosing a format. So whether you're playing cash games or whether you're playing tournaments, cash games offer total lifestyle freedom. If you want to play for an hour during a lunch, you can do it. You can sit down, play. When you get tired, you go home playing bad or tilted, you can just rack up and just leave and walk out the door any second you want to. And that's the key we got to remember. You're in total control of the time that you spend. Tournaments, on the other hand, are strict. You're committed. So once you register for that tournament and you start playing, you're locked in. You have to make a deep run. You have to sit there in that chair for 8, 10, 12 hours straight, sometimes a couple of days. You don't leave when you're tired. If you walk away, your stack just gets blinded off. So you're going to lose it. Like I said, the blinds are raising, so you're going to lose a lot. If you have a busy day job like I do, I work for a living, a family, unpredictable schedule, fitting a 10-hour tournament grid into, it's going to be tough. You're not going to be able to do it. But you thrive on structure, competition, big weekend events. The electric atmosphere of a final table, nothing compares to it if you thrive on it. Nothing compares to it if you thrive on it. In summary, which should you play? Cash games, tournament. Cash games, tournament. I'm gonna put up a graph and talk a little bit about it. And just to give you an idea of the pacing, deep stacks, the blinds. Maybe not. I don't know. But like for me, I love both. I love cash games and I love tournaments. I just don't put as much effort into a tournament as I would for a cash game. I have to really plan around it for myself. So to bring it all together, which format should you focus on? I don't know. What do you like? What do you like? Do you have the time and the money to fly out to Vegas or some of the local casinos and sit there and play where you've got the income to maintain that lifestyle? Or do you go and play a local cash game, local casino, maybe even at your buddy's house? Both give you a thrill. But remember, cash games, tournament, same cards, but the structure and how you play is going to be totally different. You can have a massive payout, for either one, whether it's the cash game or the tournament. But we all know about that tournament. We all know about the World Series of Poker. Oh my God, I would love to be on there. I would love to sit there for 8 to 12 hours and play. But, for me, I just like them both. That's what I like. But for you, being a new player, if you want to eventually get into it, I would suggest building up your war chest, as it were, saving the funds, and just try it to see what happens. And if you like it, maybe that's the route you take. But me, I love my cash games. I love them. The other thing, too, I wanted to mention, and we all know, online poker, when it comes to cash games or tournaments, oh my God, a totally different animal. I think that, in my opinion, if you want to get used to a tournament style of play in terms of the clock management, playing online is probably the best way to do it because everything is limited there. So that's a big deal for me. So this is Al at Chat Over Poker. Tell me what you think. Are you a cash game player or a tournament player? Which do you think is better for you? What are some of the what's some of the things that you use to make your game tight, to help you out? It's Al at Chat Over Poker. I'll see you on the felt, baby. What up, though? Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.